Hello and welcome to this second English live stream. I'm very happy to be here. I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes. Yeah, I did still have this window open. Yeah, so today is our second English live stream. We did a live stream about a month ago, which was also exclusively in English. And I will try to do these at least once every 2 months, I think. Depends a bit on how much is going on elsewhere and how many things I can talk about with you guys. But for today, I have some questions that I can answer to right now. Gonna wait a minute to have some more people join and then we can start. Meanwhile, we can have a look at the cat, which is always nice. Okay, I think we are ready to go for now. So last month what I did is I had a couple of pretty much random questions that I talked about and answered. This time I want to do a little bit of a different approach. I tried that already in the German live stream and it worked quite well. I will show you a complete, step-by-step presentation about how you would go around creating a music score for a choir. Let's imagine a choir with 4 voices like soprano, alto, tenor and bass. And we will set this up. We will do some lyrics. We will do some sound setups and sound configuration. And I believe this could be interesting for most of you. Even though it is for a choir, you can of course use your knowledge for other ensembles as well. This is not exclusively for choir, obviously. This is the fixed part, which will take about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. And after that, I will be open for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop those down in the comments. And yeah, without any further ado, I'm gonna dive right in. Let's see. We will start here. All right. So this is Capella, our music notation software, and we will begin by creating a new score. We can set this up quite easily in the File, New Score Wizard option, top left. And we will be adding our singing parts. Let's start with soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. You can note this. You can also enter like combined staffs. We will not do this today, but you could also add soprano and alto at a combined staff. Not a problem. You would do this right here. But we will go with this setup. Now this is the meta information. We will enter this twice today. Live stream song, okay. I'm sorry, I skipped over this one. That's a habit. Margins and page numbering. It's not that often that you use it. Maybe for landscape notes, for example, landscape scores. But today we just go with the standard default setting. And we will also create a cover page, which will be, I'm going to use this one. And let's also go by the G. Yeah, the key G major. 3/4 is our time signature. And I click on finish and it is set up. As you see right here, we have soprano, alto, tenor and bass. Now, just to make this complete, let's enter the correct information here. Title, well, the title would be the live stream song. And if you had, like, you could, of course, you know, the numbers for registration. Doesn't matter now. Instrumentation, let's go for choir, soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. And we can start entering our notes. Now, as of last times, I will use this keyboard right here. By the way, not sponsored. I think it's a Dell, but that doesn't really matter. It's a normal keyboard. I have a German setup, but of course it works with an English or with a German setup. And I will simply enter the notes by their name. So if I want to enter a G, I will hit the G. Before I begin, there's one tiny detail that might be important for you if you don't have... hang on. I do this always. Sorry. You go on Extras, and then you go on Preferences, and you go on Note Entry, Computer Keyboard. Here you can change settings, you know. You can decide if you want to have the note values attributed like whole note 1, the number 1 on your keyboard, half note, the number 2, and quarter note 4. This is what I also prefer. I think it's the best to use for me personally, but of course you can also choose the alternative where it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then for the pitches, as you can see, you might notice I have C, D, E, F, G, A, H, which might be unusual for somebody who writes with C, D, E, F, G, A, B, of course. But in Germany, the H, I mean, not only Germany, but the H is common for me, so I will use the H. But of course, you can change this like C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And you can also go Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. And you can also choose Querzu, which would be for the German keyboard layout. And you have Quertu, which would be an American ANSI setup. Lots of different choices to enter your notes. I will choose this one. And the shift keys can also be set up here. For me, it's the left shift key, I go 1 octave lower, and the right shift key means I go 1 octave higher. And that's what I prefer to do. But if you want, you can also have both shift keys have the same function. Let's go like this now. Okay, so I will start writing my notes. This will be quite simple. I have a little cheat sheet up there. If I want to write a half note, I will press the number 2, and then I will press the dot for a dotted note, and then Shift G, and I am up there. Okay, now I will continue to write those. And I simply type, you know, A, C, E, etc. Half note high, eighth note, and half note without the dot, E, and quarter note, C. Okay, this is all I need for my first line. As you might notice, I still have some space here, which I don't really need because I will be hitting the Enter key. And I can press Justification. That's on the bottom right here. If I wanted to end there, and if you want to use all the space. And then I hit Enter and I continue with my melody. It's only two lines, so don't worry. I will not be doing this for the rest of the stream. Dotted note here, and then quarter notes. Sorry, wrong octave. The plus sign helps me enter, sorry, the C sharp. C sharp will be entered with the plus sign, and then another half note on the D, and a dotted G. There you go. This is the main melody that I wanted to write. Yeah, hope you can see it. Let's listen to it quickly. Okay, that is the main melody. I will put the tempo. You can see that right here. I can go to 120 maybe. This might be little slow. Let's go to 140 maybe. Okay, that's not that important, but let's do it like 150. Okay. Before I add the other voices, I would like to show you one thing that is quite important actually, and that is, let's show this right here. You see that these lines, they are green because everything is okay. If I enter another note here, let's say this one, everything turns red, like the marks turn red, because mathematically and musically this doesn't make any sense. We have 3/4 and an eighth note, doesn't make sense. This is why these bars are red, now they are green again. If these colors don't show, you don't have the work mode activated, and that is actually quite important. It's on the top right up here. You can also simply hit Control-I, and these, like the tempo markers and everything, will not be printed or also will not be included if you do a PDF export, for example, but you can see them when you work. This is work mode. I also always recommend turning this one on because it makes it much easier to see if you make a mistake. So from there, I will not write every note for the rest. I will go to this one that I had prepared before. We have the same melody, and then we have some parts for alto, tenor, and bass. One thing I would like to add at the end is this one right here on the top right. If you enter it like this, they are separated, as you can see. But if I enter this with the option across staves within system, it will enter the long one, the including one, which I believe is the correct way to do this. Also, I believe we do need brackets before this. I will open, yes, I should mention this. On the left side, you have the system template, which you should get you should really get comfortable with this, because there's a lot of options you will find in here. And if you want to set up brackets, you can do so right here. Okay, now it looks much cleaner. And you can always, on off like this, not a problem. Let's listen to this again. Okay. For those of you who have headphones on, like I do, you might have noticed that I did something with the panorama. I will reverse this so you can see the difference. Now we have all four voices, represented at the center. So it will sound like this. And now if I want to, give it a little more room and attribute like directions to my voicings, I can do so. This makes it much easier if you want to, send it out as a practice track for your singers, for your choir. It makes it much easier for them to listen to their own voice and, identify their voice. So I would always go like 20 or something to the left and to the right, and for the bass all the way to the left. There you go. And now if you listen again, you can, distinguish the voices more easily. We're talking about sound now. There's another point I would like to show you, is that you're not obligated to use the choir sound that we have here. I do believe that for a general, if you want to get a feeling about the sound that you're writing, it gives you a good idea of what it would sound like with singers. But if you want to have like clearer timings, the voicing with the soprano, alto, tenor, and bass voices might not be the best one. Most people, a lot of people, I'm gonna say, use something like oboe, for example. Let me show you. You can simply click on the sound here. Alto is from singing, and we go to woodwind, double reeds, oboe, and let's listen again and compare. So as you can hear, like the attack, I'm gonna say the attack of the note is more direct. You know, I think it's easier for practicing that you use this kind of voicing. Okay, I think this was everything I wanted to show you in the system template. Now let's go and write the lyrics. You can enter, like, if you have the first note selected, you will simply enter the lyrics editor up here on the top right. I will actually not use the lyrics editor right now. I will be using like this option where I simply type in the names, the lyrics directly under the notes. So let's go with these ones. I'm terribly sorry, this one is not how I wanted it. Okay, never mind this. This is for later. So writing lyrics is basically just like you would write any text, because each syllable is separated by the space key. So you can really just write as if you would write a sentence. And as you saw just right here, if I have like separated syllables, simply, I will use the dash to switch to the next note, and I can just continue writing. When I'm at the end, I hit space again, and I skip to the next line automatically, which is also pretty convenient. Now, don't mind either the melody nor the lyrics. This is not a masterpiece. This is just for demonstration only. Yeah, so once I have my first voice, I will enter the second one. And this will be easier because I have less notes, of course. Entertain you. I hope we don't get a copyright strike for the let entertain you. Capella. Okay. Now I would like to enter the lyrics editor, because if you have like multiple voices, this can be very useful. This is the option verses. If I go on text lines, I will only see this line, but if I click on verses, I will see the whole verse of it. And at this point, I can simply copy it, and then I can paste it in the next one. So if I go here and I accept it, it will enter it. You will, however, see one little problem, and that is that the tenor has one syllable more than the alto. So you will part, you see, and there's part and there's lean, so this doesn't match anymore. At which point I can, for example, I'm just going to use something like this to replace it. Once I have entered a syllable here, the other syllables will just automatically be shifted to the next note. So at the end, we have everything in order. Everything is synchronous. And let's do this again. I believe we have one more here. Yeah, on lean part. Doesn't matter for now. I'm just going to use a filling word just to, you know, show you how it works. Yeah, there's another one missing. I'm going to enter another syllable like this. Also, you can see now that there's an empty one here. It's red. Yeah. And the whole score is set up. I can show you again without the work mode. Okay, so our score is entered. At that point, I've showed you before, like you can, first of all, I would, you know, change the panorama settings so that you get more of a spatial sound. And one thing also you could do, if you want to send practice tracks out to your choir, you can edit the volume for each voice separately. So I can simply click on soprano and I can put this one on loud. Let's listen again. Yeah, already I can also then set those a little lower and you will hear it more clearly. Yeah. Okay. Once you've set this one up, you can simply go on File, Export. Oops, I'm sorry, I misclicked. Export Sound and MIDI, where you can choose WAV, MP3, or MIDI as an export. Another export option you have, of course, is PDF, which is very useful. And if you want to share your score with your choir, the easiest way is to simply send them your capella file, and they can open the capella file with Capella Reader, which is for free, an app that you can download on your phone or on your tablet. Okay, let me check my lists. Ah yeah, one other thing, two other things I want to just show you. Let's imagine, I mean, changing the volume here is one thing, but if you want to enter dynamics for your song, let me show you this as well. If I want to enter dynamics here, I can go on Draw, Music Symbol, and I will enter, for example, this one here. And let's enter different ones for the other voices. You can also go copy paste at this point. It's a little bit quicker. And if I listen again, there you go. This will also be included in the MP3 export, of course. Let me get rid of those. Okay. There's another button that you should know, and this is the solo button down here. If you want to listen to a singular voice at one point, you can click the solo button. Not a problem. There's another option to do this, which I find even a little more practical, is when you're in the midst of writing notes, you can simply hit the key O. And with each time that you hit O, it will play the next note. The key O, let me show you this in the zoom. Yeah, the key O is one of the, I think it's, how many are there? I think 5 or 6 shortcuts. 7, yes, nice. We have 7 shortcuts that are presented down here on the bottom left. So when you are like here, you can see it now. Keep key N, X, J, V, I, O, P, press down. All of those are very useful. Let me show you quickly. The N is for changing the stem length. I think I'm gonna zoom in a bit. Yeah, so I'm right here and I want to change the stem length. I will simply hit the key N and I can go up and down. And I can also go zero, which will, you know, reset it back to the default length. X is for entering tremolo bars, so you go X and 3, X2, X1, or X0. J, very practical, is if you have to move them horizontally. Sometimes that's necessary. Again, if you want to reset this position, you can simply hit the zero key. Big difference. The V will, this is not very useful in this setup, it will notate in the neighboring staff. So if I go on down, it will notate it one staff down, mostly for piano and stuff like this, where you have Also very important, I is for changing the stem direction. I wonder if you can do this for a couple of them. No, you can't, but there you go. If you want to do it for a couple of them, it's easier to mark them and, I'm sorry, and go to the right side and change it to the direction if you want to, you know, change a whole selection. That was the I, and then we have the O, which is the key I showed you before. The O is actually for changing the height of the note, like this. And the P does the same thing, but chromatically. There you go. Okay, those are the shortcuts. Yeah, I think this was about everything I wanted to show you with this score. If you don't have any questions, I don't believe you do. Check. Okay, then we will go on to the second topic I wanted to talk about, and that is jump marks, as promised in the thumbnail. Yeah, this is the first example score. Let me try to get this a little more visibility. Yep. No, this doesn't actually. This doesn't. Okay. It's actually difficult to show because it always goes to the. Okay, I think this is better. Yep. Okay. This file is included in the examples, but I wanted to show you how we jump from one mark to the next in this one. And let me just, you know, I will pick up the tempo a bit, that it doesn't take too long. Sorry, before we do this, let me actually show you what's going on. So we do have repetition here, we have a fine right here, repetition again, and then da coda al fine senza repetizione, which means, you know, yeah, you will see. Okay, let's see what happens. Almost done. Beginning. Attention. There you go. There you go. So, as you can see, it went back to the beginning, it ignored the repetitions, and went until it got to the fine. And those are just texts that you type in, and Capella interprets it in the right way. A second, oh, hang on. I wanted to show you. If you click on down on the right, you see a button that says show navigation for movement, and you can click this on, which adds this little window on the bottom left. And here you will see at which movement, which bar, which beat, and for the X time, which is very useful because if I click on, let's say if I'm here and I click, yeah, there you go. So let's say I'm working on my score and I'm down here. I'm sorry. Oh, that's apologies. There you go. Let's say that I'm on my score. I'm working down here. and I want to go to the beginning, I could click here, but I'm actually not going to the beginning. Check the progress bar right here. I'm here and I click here, and now I'm at the beginning, but sometimes I'm not at the beginning because I'm like in a repetition, which can be quite confusing. And you can simply check this with this with these numbers here. So if I want to go at the very beginning, doesn't matter where I am, I can simply click on the return to beginning on the bottom left. Okay, then I'm at the very, very beginning. But if I want to go to a separate point of repetitions, I can change the position. It's difficult to explain. Just check the bar on the bottom, and you see that when I change it to the second time, third time, and that's the maximum. Okay, this is how I can, skip from repetition to repetition, because otherwise it can be quite confusing. Another option to skip in between the score would be to simply slide this one. You see it does the whole shebang. It goes, yeah. If you want to skip to a specific position and listen to a specific part of your song. Yeah, last but not least, I also created this one just to show you the Segno and Coda. So let's also listen to this one. There you go. As you can see, those are simply anchored at the notes, right here and here, and here. And it goes from, well, it goes from here, from this note, from this Dal Segno, it goes to the Segno, and it plays again till the Coda and jumps to this one. Yeah. Honestly, jump marks can be quite confusing. If you have a score and you have problems setting up the correct jump marks, feel free to send us an email. Always the same. We answer to every email, and we answer personally. We can help you set up a score when you have when you're stuck somewhere and you just can't, get the jump marks right. Don't hesitate to contact us via mail. Yep. I do think, yeah. So I did cover, I received the question just getting started with setting up a score, etc. I answered this one in quite a bit of detail, I think. And then we also talked about Dal Segno and Coda. Yeah, this answers, I believe, every question I received. Now, if you guys, let's go back to lobby first. Yeah. So, if nobody has any questions, I'm just going to wait for a second, but I don't believe the chat is very, very active today. Not a problem. You can, of course, watch this video later and ask your questions in the comments anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if nobody has any questions right now, all right. Nice. Anyway, thanks for watching whenever you did or do. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening, depending on your time zone. And don't hesitate to send us questions, which I will maybe answer in the next live stream, or maybe I will do a short about your specific question. The next live stream will probably be a little more specific about setting up sound, like sound configuration, sound fonts, etc., which is quite a vast topic as well. I think this would be good to have a live stream about that. And yeah, this is basically it for today. Thank you very much, and see you next time.